So if you've been watching the last two volumes of Retro Core, you'll remember that we've been taking a look at the Sega Ages games for the Sega Saturn. And there's still one game which we have yet to play, and it's this one. This is Phantasy Star Collection, probably one of the most difficult to find games of the Sega Ages selection for the Sega Saturn. And it comes in this lovely box, as you can see here. Yeah, lovely. You can see it just says Phantasy Star Collection on that side. You've got the lovely front here. At the bottom, same thing, but in Japanese, Sega Saturn Phantasy Star Collection. And around the side, you got a lovely spine. And at the back, you got all sorts of gubbins. Just notice then, you could see my face in the TV reflection, I think. No, you couldn't. So what you get inside the box? Well, let's take a look. Now, first I must say that usually when I do this part of the Retro Core show, when I use the video camera, I usually have the little tripod. Now, at the moment I have no idea where the tripod's gone. It's probably in the car. So I've actually got the camera stuck on a couple of CDs and a book. Not very professional, but who cares? So let's take a look inside this box. So what do we have? Okay, well, straight away you can see we've got the Phantasy Star Collection disc. Lovely disc there. Yeah, nothing too special. Could have been colour, but I suppose they had to save some money. Okay, and then you have this cardboard box. Now what's in here? Well, let's take a look. Okay. First of all, we have the manual. Now, unlike most Sega Saturn manuals, this one is very, very thick. Basically, it includes the manuals to Phantasy Star, Phantasy Star 2, Phantasy Star 3, and Phantasy Star 4. And as you can see, it's got all the original artwork from the original instruction manuals. This is from Phantasy Star, that's from the original Master System game. Look at that, quality 80s artwork or what? Okay, it's pretty hard to see when I'm filming here from looking in the camera. Whoa, that's when artwork and manuals used to be cheap. Well, not cheap, but a lot more basic than what they are today. And of course, it goes all the way through to all the other Phantasy Star games with reproductions of the Mega Drive manuals, as you can see. They're very nice. And also in this collection you get the maps. Now this is actually something which I didn't expect them to do, but these are reproductions of the original maps that came with the original games. Okay, so here we go with a look at the actual game. And first thing you notice is the options are very, very basic. All you have is a stereo and a mono sound option. Now I know that you'll want to see the art gallery, right? So what I'll do is I'll quickly show you a few of the pictures from the different games featured within this illustration gallery or art gallery. So let's start off with Phantasy Star. And what I'll do is I'll show you them really quickly. So if you want to see them for a longer period or in more detail, just press pause. Okay, so let's take a look at some Phantasy Star 2 pictures. Now you'll notice that the original Phantasy Star only had about 10 pictures and the Phantasy Star 2 has 15 pictures. But by the time you get to Phantasy Star 4, there's around about 160 pictures. Now the reason for this, by the way, these are Phantasy Star 3 pictures now. Now the reason for this is it's said that Sega never used to keep any tabs on the IPs which they owned, and all the original design work and artwork from many games, and even the source code for many games just disappeared or was thrown away knowingly, which is bloody stupid. But I'm sure they regret doing that now. And finally onto some Phantasy Star 4 pictures. See, as you can see, 167. Obviously I won't be showing you all of those. So as well as having lots of different pictures in the art gallery, they also have a movie section to the art gallery. And in that section you get to see the original Japanese TV commercials for each of the games. And I must say that the commercial for Phantasy Star 3 is bloody pathetic. Certainly wouldn't make me buy the game, put it that way. So let's go and take a look at the TV commercials.
Sega ロールプレイングゲームも変えてしまう。ファンタシースター。かつてない驚異のグラフィック、壮大な SF ストーリー。その秘密は4メガ。ファンタシースター。16ビット6メガ。セガファンタシースター2。目を見張るリアルキャラクター、ツインスクロール。メガドライブ対応未体験ロールプレイングゲーム。ファンタシースター2。時を司るのは神か悪魔か。一本で4つのエンディング。キングオブ RPG。時の継承者ファンタシースター3。
Lovely stuff. So how about the actual games? Well, we'll start off with Phantasy Star 1, which you may have just seen. It came up as Mark III, which was the original name for the Master System in Japan. And Phantasy Star is one of those games which used the FMV sound pack, which wasn't available at all in the West. So all Master System games in the West sounded like crap. And if you ever played the Western version of Phantasy Star, you'll know it didn't sound as good as this. Now, considering this is an 8-bit machine, and we're talking a machine which is around about the same capabilities, well actually its capabilities were a lot better than the Famicom, the Nintendo NES, or NES, whatever you want to call it. Well, when you consider that the Master System was a direct competition to that, the graphics on this are extremely good. They're really, really good. In fact, probably the only thing that really let the Master System down is its lack of games. Or lack of real killer titles, I should say. Now, just wait till you see the maze on this. It is so smooth. Look at that. You're talking an 8-bit machine. From like, what is it, 1987 or 1986? That's amazing, that is. So as well as having really, really smooth dungeons and the typical overhead viewpoints for the maps, Phantasy Star also has your battles, and they are quite confusing with the amount of text boxes popping up everywhere, and pretty much all RPGs back in that day were pretty much like this. So let's take a look at the first 16-bit Phantasy Star game. This is Phantasy Star 2. Now, graphically, it's not as impressive as the Master System game, because, of course, you'd expect more from a Mega Drive. But again, back in the time when this was released in 1989, most RPGs looked very plain and a bit on the shit side. This is no exception. So it starts off with the story from Phantasy Star 1, telling you where the sagas left off. And as you can see, the graphics are a vast improvement, but not that spectacular. Mind you, they may look better than the first Final Fantasy on the Super Famicom. Maybe. And as you can see, we're outside on the world map here. But unfortunately, gone are those amazingly cool 3D dungeons. All gone now. And for some reason, when you go into a battle, you end up in cyberspace. And it's very, very confusing to figure out what the hell's going on. So on with Phantasy Star 3, which, to be honest, bored the hell out of me. I didn't like this game at all. And graphically, you can tell that they've gone for something a bit more beefy looking, but it does look like a lot of cut and paste to me. Like, all the buildings are identical, and you know, it does look like they've just plotted them round on a grid randomly. So to be perfectly honest, I do actually prefer the style of Phantasy Star 2 to this. Again, there's no 3D dungeons, they only appear in the original game, which is a great shame. Unlike the other Phantasy Star games, your battles take place over the outside world, and yes, it's a little bit of a mess. So I have no idea why the floor is scrolling. Maybe you're running while you're battling, who knows. I actually picked automatic battle there by the looks of it. And finally onto Phantasy Star 4, which I did play and completed, and I must say it's an amazingly good game. Straight away from the introduction you can see how special it is. And the graphics are really nice, the gameplay is really nice, and it's got these wonderful comic-like sections when you actually talk to people and it explains the story, and it builds the atmosphere up unbelievably well, as you can see right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut up and let you watch this beautiful Mega Drive RPG. Until next time.